John. I'm here with the fourth of your 4 engines, and again, this is an unbelievably stunning and beautiful example of a Northern. This too looks like it has been repainted, and whoever did it did just a fantastic job for you. The decals on the tender are reproductions, and the numbers on the sides of the engine are. But again, that's not here nor there. I do see your numbers up here are at the front of the engine are just stunning. The only thing I see is the bell here at the front is missing. This bracket is broken. I wonder if that happened in transit or not. Man, those bells are so small. I'll take a quick look, but probably Probably I'm not going to be able to find it. I may have an extra here. I'll have to check into that for us and just see. But I've got a transformer hooked up. Let's see what we get. Hey, hey, hey. Reverse is alive. Yep, we got a headlight, so that's good. Let's see if our reverse unit's going to work in the tender. I got into the tender. A couple things of note. Someone put this really, really oversized grommet behind the speaker, and so I actually had to take the assembly that holds the speaker apart to gently get it out of the shell because you can damage the speakers if you're not careful with them. Another thing of note, so these are the two, I'll zoom in here for you. These are the two screws that go at the top of the front of the tender, hold the front plate on. And then you should have 6 of these longer screws that hold the tender shell and the frame together. As you can see, we've got 2 long ones, but 2 short ones. The short ones were used for the smaller steam engine tenders. So again, not a huge deal, but I don't get, again, I don't get why people go through the effort to repaint, redecal something and not use the right parts. I find that fascinating. All right, so here's the tender. I put a little bit of glue on the speaker because it was a little bit cracked there, and there's like a hole there. It still works, but anyhow, I thought I'd do that for you. And I've done this repair. This membrane is really thin, so it still vibrates well when I've done this on other repairs. The wipers underneath here, I'm not going to turn it over because things are loose, but wipers under your tender frame look like they're brand new. They're very nice. And somebody put new fingers in the reverse unit. I understand, why it wasn't working very well, unless maybe some of this was interfering with the movement. I also found, so whoever did this did a replacement jack panel, male jack panel, and it's real nice, except that it's a different style. It's a newer style. These fingers or pins are long, and so they don't actually fit in here very well. Like I kept experimenting with it, and they only go so far. I mean, I've pushed very hard. They're just a little bit larger, I think. Anyhow, I'll have to experiment with trying to get that cleaned up for you. But bottom line is, as it stands right now, to get your engine to run, took a little bit of finagling and holding these pins in there. And I thought, now how did this even work before? Because they're not making good contact, which is possible, or they're just a little bit bigger size. And I know I've run into that sometimes with newer replacement remake stuff, that it doesn't always want to fit, especially if you're using an original piece like this. The receptacle or female jack panel on here would be original. So large motor, and that's what I got for you thus far. With the tender here though, I'll do a little more testing. I want to check for continuity These are thicker, newer style fingers, and sometimes when these get reassembled, if you don't do a little dancing with them, they don't make very good contact. So it could be, like I said, it could be that the plug is the issue, and I just want to determine that for you. All right, that's what I got for you at the moment. Couple things that I find interesting. Number one, I use a Q-tip and some alcohol and got a little bit of reveal to happen. With some gentle rubbing. Um, at first, I thought there was an 8 in there, which when I thought, well, it must be 58. But then I realized the engine and tender aren't hardwired; they have a jack panel, so that's probably not right. So I kept cleaning, and I thought, well, maybe that's an April. I don't know. It's so scratched, and I see what appear to be two numbers. To me, it looks like a 2 and a 1, and then some letters, or an 8. Like I said, it's probably lost to time, or maybe somebody with better sleuthing skills can figure that out. But this has a large motor in it. I don't know. It's a little bit of a perplexing scenario here. Oh, I just realized you don't have any traction tires. What is going on with this thing? No traction tires. You know what? I think this is a much earlier engine shell and chassis. I think this was a 332, because of the fact that these, unless they replace the wheels, but why would you put non-Pullmore wheels on a Northern? That doesn't make a lot of sense. And what's making me think this is a much older chassis and shell potentially is that the rims are not super tall, and with Pullmore they'd be taller because you've got the thickness of the traction tire, so your flange has to be deeper. So the other thing, a couple more things. Whoever did the repaint, and I'm not sure how this happened, but they painted the motor, like the brush holders. I mean, everything is covered in black paint. Um, I don't know. I don't know how you, unless they painted the chassis and then put the wheels and the smoke unit on. I don't know. That's really fascinating. Again, the other thing, I talked to you about the plug not wanting to go in here, and I was looking more at it, and this is kind of a mess. But yeah, there's just the way these wires were soldered in. The wires and solder are in the way of the pins, making it as deeply as they need to. So I'm hoping I can clean that up for you. It may be hard enough to get that really cleaned up that I'll have to just replace it. So anyhow, that's a surprise. Didn't see that coming. All right, that's what I got for you at the moment. So I've done a little bit of rewiring, maintenance to your reverse unit. Reverse fingers are okay. Overall, reversing is a little bit on the sluggish side. I am now able to get it to rotate with out 100% power, but it's kind of 50% and above is where you get any rotation out of it. And so I wanted to give you that heads up. And then on the motor here, you can see your brush bracket is now shiny instead of painted. There's two reasons I do that. I clean these up. One is because it looks nice. The second is to get oxidation off. So on the insides of these clips here, I go inside there and clean those, remove oxidation. Same with the barrels. Just the little things like that I think overall just help. Also, some good news here with the pins. I've managed to clean these up and get everything so it slides together tightly now. And as you heard, your motor operates. Let's see, I'm at just a little over 50% throttle here. The reverse unit is kind of working. There we go. This is full blast. We got some smoke come out of there. A couple things of note. The armature needed a little bit of work. Wasn't too bad, but need a little bit of work. It's also got the purple laminated wire, and after I did all my lathe work on it, I checked it, and it is good. It's good ohm readings on it in spec. Same with the field. I think this one was also, or is also, purple painted black. So yeah, I think the motor is in good shape. I did replace the springs for the brushes. One of them was collapsed, and that's, anytime I see that, that's both of them get changed out, because whatever caused one to collapse, the second one's probably not far behind. And that's I've learned that the hard way. So yeah, anyhow, those are both changed out. Your brushes look good. Probably 80%, 85% left on those. So yeah. All right, I'm continuing to move forward on these things here. Here we are with your engine. Got everything put back together. Added the 5th and 6th wire. Removed the 5th wire, added a secondary plug, as you have seen me doing your other engines. And that gets us a bright headlight, which has also been replaced with an LED. And of course, lots of good smoke. Now, there is one thing that I saw almost right away when I put it on the track here. See if I can get it to do it. So bring it back around here. What I'm getting is sparks from the front wheel on this curve. And so I need to look at that. I didn't pick up that the rims were loose. I found one rim that was loose. Oh yeah, I added traction tires. I had the rubber bands traction tires. That's something else I did. But I didn't notice that the gauge seemed out of like it was too close on the front drivers. But there are times when I'm getting all kinds of sparking here.